We had people who were poverty-stricken amongst them. But this is what was strange. In the midst of people who had problems, one proposed in their heart that if I may just touch the hem of his garment. Now let me tell you, others have touched it. Nothing happened. So it's not in the touching. It's not whether who lay hands on you. It is the value you have for the person who is laying hands on you. Am I communicating?
Yes, sir.
It implies you can be the place where prophetic utterances are released and your life is still full of problems. The Bible says if you believe in the prophet, you shall prosper. So the activation of the anointing for manifestation is a product of your value you are called to the prophet. Can I tell you one thing?
Yes, sir.
Your prophet must not be the most handsome man for you to get the prophet.
Yes, sir.
Your prophet must not be the most tallest man. Your prophet must not come from a rich family. Your prophet must not be the most educated. Your prophet must not be the most celebrated. But to you, it must be the most celebrated. Let nobody build in you a picture that a man who will come and raise the dead in the whole quarter must be the man you must follow to become great. The man that God has chosen over your life, even he is a cripple, he will carry you to your greatness. The laws of the Spirit are completely different from the laws that governs the society. You must understand that God, before you were born in your mother's womb, had programmed existence with an individual representing something for your life. Any iota of corruption along the line that brings distraction can bring delay over your life for a very long time. When you are privileged to be able to identify a man, let your focus be undivided. Light has strength when it's consecrated. When light is consecrated, it becomes laser. It can cut across any rock. May your focus and commitment towards the one that God has put over your life become stronger. The anointing you receive will become more powerful. The grace of impartation will become higher. Hear me? Anytime you are bound to tap into that which will bring increase in your life, follow me. I'm giving prophetic counsel. A situation will occur that will try to break your value towards the one who God has validated for your increase. Hear me?
Yes, sir.
A situation occurs and a value can be lessened a bit, then there is going to be a distraction of the virtue that was designed to validate you to the next phase of your life. Is somebody hear what I'm saying?
Yes,
God can permit an atmosphere which doesn't look good in your eyes. But he permits it to assess your faithfulness. I don't love God because he has given me money. I love God because he's my father. If it means for me to sleep on the ground, it won't change anything. Why? He's my father. He blesses me or he doesn't bless me, I still love him. He's my father. If you have not arrived at that point where your connectivity to a person is not motivated by physical situation, you miss the mark.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sometimes God will take away those physical things which are the motivators to assess whether your spirituality is genuine. God is not a man. And if you assess the supernatural, you must be spiritual.
Yes, sir.
In the realm of the spirit, a person might be mapped out for the next 2 months to become the measure voice of a nation. But 2 months before, he might be a controversy.
Oh, yes, sir.
Your ability to cut across the controversy, to see the 2 months impact and be connected to him in the midst of the controversy is what makes you spiritual. Let me say it again. Some of you presently now, there might be things around you that can make somebody not to admire.
Yeah.
But you can't cancel what is in the womb of destiny the next 2 months.
Yes, sir.
Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Now, anybody wants to define you based on where you are now will miss you in the next 2 months.
Oh, yes.
Even when nothing is happening in the physical, your faithfulness begins to provoke the hand of God to structure a new program for you in the future.
Yes.
When a man has invested all his seeds in the ground, not in his seed, you might look at him as empty. Give time, the seed will germinate. Your faithfulness under a particular move is the greatest seed of investment for the future you are desiring.
Amen.
Yes, sir. Service is the only supernatural investment that secures you a great tomorrow. Nobody is a great leader if he has not been a great servant. How do you lead people if you have not been led before? You cannot heal the wound of a pain you've not felt.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes God will permit you to go through something, not because he hates you, but because he wants to give you an experience that will permit you to understand other people who will need your help tomorrow. You didn't hear what I said? There are things you experience, you ask yourself, am I cursed? Why are things like this with me? You don't need to be cursed. You don't need to sin to attract problems. You don't need to do what? Sin to attract problems.
Yes, sir.
You don't need to sin to attract insult. In fact, your righteousness can attract insult more than your sin. Am I communicating here?
Yes, sir.
Anybody who will make a difference, their eyes must be closed to what environment is telling them and be open to what God is saying in the Spirit.
Yes, sir.
The generation of people who made a difference, they went through the same things that distracted others and they failed. What made them make a difference is that they closed their eyes to what environment was saying, and their eyes were more open to what God was saying in His Spirit.
Amen.
Yes, sir. Are you hearing what I'm saying here?
Yes, sir.
There are people whom you will meet on the path of greatness. Without a spiritual eye, there is a possibility that you can fight your helpers without realizing.
Yes, sir.
Nobody chooses which womb will carry them.
Yes, sir.
If you had to choose, you would have said maybe it's Chantal Bia's womb that will carry you. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
The womb that carry you does not matter. It is the purpose why you are in that womb. How you were born is not your problem.
Yes, sir.
It is why you were born. You might be born in poverty, but born for prosperity.
Yes, sir.
You might be born in sickness, but born to be a healer.
Yes, sir.
So what defines your tomorrow is not how you came, it's why you came.
Yes, sir.
Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Oh, yes, sir.
Destiny destiny has a way, it provokes an atmosphere which might not be comfortable, but necessary in order for you to get to the best you were fashioned for. Can I talk to somebody?
Yes, sir.
Because sometimes we get to a place where we get worried. Why is my life like this? Why are things like this with me? I'm trying to be nicer than others, but they have more favor than me. Even those who are more bad, things are more favorable to them. Can I talk to you?
Yes, sir.
Where you are going to is not where they are going to.
Oh, yes, sir.
Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
This is what happened. Aaron was born. Hello?
Hi.
There was no decree to kill children. The day Moses is born, a decree comes that you kill. What did Moses do in his innocent age? Is somebody trying to get what I'm saying?
Yes,
I want us to be connected to this reality I'm saying. If you can understand this, you'll be unstoppable in life.
amen.
And the power behind destiny is that it compels happenings which you don't expect, but they are all working for your good.
Amen.
The Bible says all things work together to them that. It means nothing is intended to destroy you.
Yes, sir.
Just have somebody say that thing that you're worried about is not intended to destroy you. You hear what I'm saying here?
Yes,
and sometimes we begin to persecute ourselves. Sometimes we get to a place where we degenerate to self-condemnation. Where are they my own soul? All beloved are for me. Nobody's condemning you, you are condemning yourself.
oh, yes.
Have you gotten to that place of self-defeat? Where there's an opportunity, you're not taking a step because you have already condemned yourself?
Oh, yes, sir.
Have you gotten to that place in life where you look at people, you feel intimidated?
Yes, sir.
There's an understanding that a man possesses. Even when people are frowning, you're smiling. Hear me? There is this thing that the scripture says about grace. 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 2 says, grace and peace is multiplied in us through the increase of the knowledge of God.
Yes.
Grace and peace. I don't know why they didn't say grace or they didn't say peace. They say grace and peace. It means when you find grace, you find peace.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's not possible for grace to be available and then you don't find peace.
Yes, sir.
So what makes a difference is not that challenges don't exist. What makes a difference is that the one who is not feeling the challenge is the one who has grace.
Yes,
because grace will give you peace in the midst of challenges. Grace will keep you going when everybody is concluding.
oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Grace will keep you smiling when everybody is crying.
Yes, sir.
Grace will keep you running when everybody is retiring. Say grace and peace be multiplied. It means grace has dimensions. It means the peace you're experiencing that you still feel a little frustration is not enough. Sometimes you talk about the joy of the Lord, but you still have some areas of frustration. You've overcome one thing, but there are still other areas you have not overcome. It means the measure of the grace you have received is not sufficient for the task ahead of you. Which then implies you must not settle when you still get to a place where you have some frustrations. It's just an indication that the grace you have received is not sufficient for the task ahead of you. So what do you do when you're in such a situation? You stop blaming people. Start seeing how you can increase grace. How can grace be increased? Through the increase of the knowledge of God. How much you know about God is not all that God is. So the Bible says, my people are destroyed. Is there any person who does not know something? Is there anybody who does not know something?
No, sir.
Everybody knows something. But if what you know still keeps you at a place of destruction, it means you lack knowledge. What you know is not knowledge. So the truth has to do with information in peculiarity with the set course you are pursuing. I can't acquire information on carpentry and become a good mechanic. Possible?
No.
I have knowledge, but it's not the truth. The peculiarity of your existence warrant a line of inspiration to activate that which God has put inside of you for recognition to be felt. What might cause me to shine might not cause you to shine.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That's true.
So true,
God bless you. Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
What can get me to significance might never get you to significance.
Oh, yeah.
Ask me why.
Wise.
Is giving grace. Somebody say grace. Grace is ability to function, ability to cause result, ability to make. Am I still talking?
Yes,
Follow me very well. There is this understanding that when you have, it regulates your temperament to a point where you can celebrate other people's success even when you're not succeeding. But ignorance has a way it can make you to persecute and envy something that is lesser than the capacity you're pattern for. How many of you know there are people who fight some things which are lesser than the capacity of the grace they were called for?
Yeah.
Are you still with me?
Yes, sir.
He said, but unto every one of us is giving grace. Follow. According, now, specificity, to the measure, peculiarity, of the gift of Christ in them. Uniqueness. The gift of Christ in you is not in the same measure with the gift of Christ in me. Christ in me, the hope of glory, is not the Christ in you, the Christ in me. Because the Christ in me is unique with the peculiarity of God's purpose over my life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I can do all things through Christ that strengthened me, not through the Christ that strengthened you.
Yes,
My greatness is not wrapped up in your greatness. My greatness is wrapped up in what God put inside of me.
Amen.
Nobody's success or failure can define your tomorrow.
Yes,
Let everybody succeed. They can't cancel your placement of success.
sir.
When your time comes, nobody will dispute your own. He maketh everything beautiful in his time. If it's your brother's time, why are you angry? Brother, I celebrate you. Wait for my own time. With all joy, ask me why. Because the latter glory is greater than the former. Come to be greater than home. So do you see now that envy is a primitive state of thinking?
Very primitive, sir.
Anytime you say a person is envious, just know the person is primitive in his thinking.
Yes, sir.
Jealousy is a state of immaturity. What? Jealousy is a state of immaturity. Now look at what the Bible says. That when you're born again, you become a member of the body. This is the body, not so.
Yes, sir.
The eye is a member, right?
Yes, sir.
The mouth is a member. The nose is a member. The ear is a member. The eye is not the body. The eye is just a member.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Hi.
So when the mouth is talking, it will be foolishness for the eye to envy the mouth.
Yes, sir.
It will be great stupidity for the eye to be fasting to talk. So ignorance. Should I allow you like that? No. You know I'm sitting on the altar because I'm dropping the weight of death. On this altar, wisdom will come out. That's why I'm sitting here. This shall be the seat of wisdom. Prophetic utterances will come here that will guide people's life into excellence. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
And this is what the Bible says. And this is what I'm saying. He gives grace according to the measure of the gift of Christ. My measure is the eye, your own is the mouth, their own is the ear. So the grace the eye needs is not the grace the mouth needs.
Yes, sir.
And you understand the science of uniqueness?
Yes, sir.
It will be a terrible error for the eye to be praying for the grace of speech. A lot of us just see somebody manifesting, hey, Lord, give me that anointing. Lord, give me that anointing. That is the primitivity that has been going along. The church needs to be schooled. Children of God need to be educated. And do you know why this did not begin as a church? Because it has come not to adopt the old outdated patterns. It has come to inspire a new train of operation. That will permit the glory of God in its timely dimension and dynamic to be felt. Did you hear what I said? Yes. In its timely dimension and dynamics to be felt. It implies that people who are part of this movement will not communicate God just like a narrow beam. The diversity of divinity will be felt for this altar.
Amen.
I became all things to all men that I may resolve. They will be confused at a particular time because they will not have a definition for this movement. Why they are trying to calculate and understand it in this spectrum is moving to a higher dimension. What a man hears determines what the person believes.
Yes, sir.
What a person believes determines what the person behaves.
Yes, sir.
How a person behaves determines what the person will become.
Yes, sir.
Your future is determined by the quality of information you hear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The Bible says the words I speak are spirit and life. It implies every word carries a spirit that gives you a life.
That's true, sir.
So if you are hearing words that are decoding impact, the spirit of impact comes upon you. And there is no way you cannot behave impact.
Yeah.
Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yes,
The strength of any movement is the quality of information that is released. When you look at the people, if you want to know their tomorrow, know what they are hearing today. You cannot amount to anything different from what you have been hearing. If you learn carpentry, you cannot be a mechanic. A place where people are not taught, the people can never become anything. I said, prophetic declarations are good. The prophetic teachings are more stronger.
Yes, sir.
Ask me why. If we have a little girl here, they can prophesy to the little girl, you're a woman. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
It's prophetic. But you need to know how to live from a girl to become a woman. Hello? So you don't need to tell me you're a woman. Just teach the girl how to live from a girl to a woman. You will become it.
Yes.
Without the declaration. The declaration sometimes is encouraging. It's motivation. But if you lack the principles, you will still be in problem. Some people get worried. Oh, that prophecy really happened. It's not that the prophecy was false. It's just that the principle that accompanies the prophecy to become a reality was neglected. Sometimes when a prophecy comes in your direction, if you don't understand the principle that accompanies it, go and meet your leader. Ask him, what is the instruction behind this prophecy? It's the instruction that structures the prophecy to become a reality.
Yes, sir.
Anybody who is not praying inclined has a problem. But prayer is not sufficient to make you prosperous.
That's true, sir. Very true.
You can pray and be a prey. You can pray and become the biggest problem in your community.
Yes, sir.
Prayer provokes the atmosphere of breakthrough. But principle is what ushers you into the breakthrough. When you pray for prosperity, the opportunities to prosper will come. But if you lack the principle to prosper, you will still be a failure. A man who lacks principle of prosperity, give him 10 million. After a while, you will still see him poor.
Yes, sir.
Poverty is a deficient state of mind that cannot be able to manage resources. I'm getting a little peace. Means something is dropping in the water. Hear me? Can I talk to somebody?
Yes, sir.
If they can open your eye in the realm of the spirit to see what God has put inside of you and where it's carrying you to, you will not eat food for 3 days. But when you are blind to the reality of what you're fashioned for, you'll be blaming everybody. Am I communicating here?
Yes, sir.
I've touched a lot of things. Allow them on the way. Because my motivation this day and my assignment this day is to drop something on the altar. Hear me? Your destiny is not in my hands. Your destiny is in your hands.
Yes, sir.
But God will put a man in your life that will become an igniter of your destiny.
That's true, sir.
If you joke with that person, you will settle in the wrong place without realizing. Your father is the igniter. Is what?
The igniter.
If you have gas but you don't have matches to light it, you will still be hungry.
Yes, sir.
It's not because you carry greatness that makes you great. It's why you recognize the igniter. Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
It's important to understand this reality. Hello?
Hi.
Your respect for me would only be valid if your respect for me is small. Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Ask me why.
Why, sir?
God is a God of order. There are people who encountered Elisha. They were called sons of prophets. Hello?
Hi.
They never encouraged Elisha. The day Elisha met with Elijah, Elisha's life left from a farmer and he became a major prophet. It implies that there is something you can be doing which people can clap for you, which is by far less than what you were created for.
Yes.
Until you meet with your Elijah.
Amen.
Your meeting with your Elijah will cause you to lose some things which were previously comfort. And you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Look, it is not yet destiny until you are ready to lose the comfort you had in the past. The journey for impartation requires sacrifice. How do we know it's divine? You sacrifice without complaining.
Yes, sir.
You can give up everything for it. I heard everybody say, oh, we love this movement. How many of you can sacrifice everything you have for this movement? You're not so excited. There's an excitement dimension. There's a reality dimension. The excitement dimension can entice your leader. But the reality dimension is what touches God. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You can deceive your leader, but you can't deceive the God in your leader.
Yes, sir.
He can pray for you, go and prosper, but he will only answer as much as your sincerity to him.
Yes, sir.
Watch. Before I leave this place, I must have brought more than 50 important points. Yes. Did you hear what I said?
Yes, sir.
Implies, it is not when he says you are blessed. So the blessing reception is determined by your sincerity in the connectivity.
Yes, sir.
The Bible says in the book of Matthew 5:8, it says, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall do what? See God. So if your heart towards your leader is not transparent, even when he blesses you from his heart, you will not be able to receive the blessing. Because the God in the declaration only settles in a pure heart. But you didn't hear what I said. Never allow anything to corrupt your heart in your relationship with your father.
Amen.
Because any little corruption with the relationship and your father will hinder impartation. Can I shock you?
Yes, sir.
Being under your leader and deceiving him, and he doesn't tell you you are lying, doesn't mean he doesn't know. So you can deceive him and don't tell him I lied. Because the consequences of every action will be experienced by the one, not the one you deceived. Are you following what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Take this very serious because you can make a difference with the right understanding. Jesus Christ had 12 disciples. Somebody said 12 disciples.
12 disciples.
Everywhere they went. Oh, he's our master, will die for you. Among those who were shouting, will die for you, one was lying. See, to show you that he knows. A situation occurred where somebody made a sacrifice to connect. The guy said, master, you have converted to money so that you can help the poor. The master didn't tell him that I know you are a thief. The Bible says he said in his heart that this guy was not saying this thing because he had interest onto that. But he was saying it because he was what? A thief. And he did not know that his master knew he was a thief, and his master still kept him there. You can be kept a leader in a system where you are false, and the leader will stay quiet, and you think that he doesn't know. But you are the one killing your own tomorrow. Because while others will become apostles, your own apostleship will be roped on the neck. You get into into unnecessary trouble, not because your leader has cursed you, but because you curse yourself by being unfaithful, being unsincere, being disobedient. What is the hypocrisy all about? By you saying you are, and then in your heart you are acting contrary. God is not man. If you want to excel, it's the purity of your heart, the faithfulness in your relationship that attracts the hand of God to give a push in your life and make you different from others. They became 51 who were after the generation of Elijah. But when a measured step was necessary, 50 said, we have the title. How will we follow this man? He said, I've got to go. Elisha said, my loyalty is not motivated by what you can give me or what you cannot give me. What is that thing that is motivating you to be here? It is not a divine conviction. One day that you don't see that thing. Oh, Papa is encouraging me, he loves me. The day he will not show you love. And God can cause him ignorantly to neglect you. You are sick and he always forget to even call you and pray for you. God will permit such an atmosphere to assess the genuinity and your sincerity in the connection. You are not following a man. You are not following a man. You are following the God in the man. Yes, the God in the man can make him not to have rest just to solve your problem. The God in the man can make him to change his direction just to meet up with your problem. Jesus was going somewhere else, but an encounter made him. He changed his direction to solve a problem. Any man whom their sincerity can touch heaven, you can provoke the direction of every person that carries your favor in your direction. Yes, there are people you don't know, you've never met, but God, who is the owner of every human being, can cause them to help you. Yes, and your relatives will neglect you. Yes, so, the secret to move forward is not by identifying with blood relationship. It's by identifying with the blood of Jesus. Yes. Spectrum of a family where people whom you don't know them by name, they become your relation. They feel your burden. They can stand for you, they don't know why. We have people who sometimes want to use their mouth to move God. They want to use their mouth to entice the leader to know they are. No. Be sincere. Be faithful. And heaven will turn the heart of your leader in your direction. They're planning to kill Mordecai. But a righteous man cannot fall in doom. God troubled the heart of the king. He had no sleep. He had to go and open the book of remembrance. May God trouble somebody because of your righteousness. I said, may God trouble somebody because of your righteousness. I'm about to conclude. All cannot be spoken in a particular day. Yes, sir. I want to assure you, your future is great. Amen. The only secret that will carry you from where you are and make you different from others is by you understanding this I'm talking about. Yes, sir. Let your faithfulness not be motivated by flesh. Yes. Let it come from the womb of the Spirit. Yes. Everybody might not appreciate you, but when heaven chooses to distinguish you, even your haters will become your workers. Amen. I raised up on my feet as I said this last week. In Daniel chapter 2, a situation occurred where the king had a dream. You know, every leader must have a dream that can carry his people. Every leader must have a dream that can carry his people. When a leader gets to a place where he begins to forget his dream, you know, his nation, his people are about to plunge into error. On this altar, timely revelations understand. God will use the mouth of his servant to bring it to your consciousness. Amen. That you will not be found wanting when others are confused. Amen. In the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. And I prophesy that this move, a move is a move because something which was current gets to a place where it expires. When it expires, things become stagnated. There's something that needs to come that is different from what carry people to that level where there's no advancement that can carry people further. Any move of God carries in the womb of the vision what it takes to carry things from where they are retiring to where they could not get to by themselves. Yes. Get ready to be equipped here to go to the world. Where people are confused, you will show them the way forward. I said, get ready. Men and women will rise up from this place. When our communities where there is confusion, they will say, here is the way. That is when the relevance of your service and commitment will be proven. Amen. Nobody could interpret the dream. The dream was even forgotten. And the king was about to kill everybody who was in position of authority. But here, the Daniels will always rise up. Amen. Daniel said, give me some day. The dream the king forgot, God gave him the dream. The interpretation, God gave him. The one who was planning to kill Daniel, when Daniel gave it, he bowed his face on the ground and worshipped Daniel. The same thing happened to Apostle Paul. They said, this is God in the likeness of man. You shall move from this movement to nations, to places, and give away to people who are confused, who are advanced to new attitudes in the mighty name of Jesus. Men and women who rise out of this place and step into places where they God in them. When they begin to manifest, it will move communities, it will move nations to a new high of security. I prophesy that on this altar, what it takes to activate that capacity in you will be given in the name of Jesus. And I decree, God hears the heaven. The heaven hears the earth. The earth hears oil. And oil hears Jezebel. When oil is taken upon by an anointed man of God and spoken upon and poured on the earth, a voice begins to speak from the earth that the heaven hears, and God hears it. Upon all this declaration, as I pour oil on this altar, as I pour oil on this altar, may every declaration that has come out of my mouth become manifested in the name of Jesus. I decree that as the oracle of this house kneel on this altar, as the oil come on him, may he manifest of what I've declared. May his mouth manifest that this has been declared on this altar, that you shall receive, you shall manifest, and God will be glorified in the name of Jesus Christ. of Jesus. When oil came upon a man who was an ordinary shepherd, things changed with him. He was still in the shepherd business. But when an opportunity came, when he met with Goliath, the difference was clear. His name will not change after today. But the oil over his life changes after today. Take it. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. I decree and declare upon everyone that is loyal and faithful to this commission and faithful to this man, may everything that God has put inside of him not remain in him. May it come into your life and make you a signal of impact in the name of Jesus. Everyone under the sound of my voice, I decree you will not die without your voice being heard. What God put inside of you, this generation must live to celebrate in the name of Jesus.
Yes, Lord.
Father, thank you.
Thank you, Jesus.
Father, thank you. Let your name alone be exalted.
Yes, Lord.
Let your name alone be exalted.
Yes, Lord.
I declare your blessings.
Amen.
By the blood of Jesus, every declaration is sealed.
Amen.
In Jesus' precious name.
Amen.
I finish my assignment.
All the office leaders, come in front.